Hey, 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 you are watching Health Be Mind, the station for all things self-investment stuff. And I have a very, very special occasion today. I am going to be sharing with you all a very, very special person and has become a friend. So I'm so happy to have her on. I have Miss Hassana Brown. She is the author of the book, The Gift. And before we get started, I'm just going to read you the back of the book to give you an idea of what the book is about. And then I'm going to bring Miss Hassana on with us, and she's going to answer a few questions for us. So, The Gift, discovery of self while accepting my family truth. Here she comes, and there was no stopping her. She was bound to come into the world in a hurry. As her mother was panting in the backseat of a taxi cab car, she never imagined that her baby girl would be born on the seat that morning. Her birth certificate states, en route. Not even the hospital name was listed. I often refer back to this day wondering why I was in such a rush to come into a world that was full of uncertainty, pain, and suffering. I remember in my childhood always being a misfit. The discovery of me never happened until I was well in my 30s. Once I peeled back all of my hurt and pain from the inside, that is when the gift was given to me. It took 48 years and 7 months. Miss Hassana Brown, how are you?
I'm doing well, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you came on with me today. And I want to, so I don't know if you've ever seen any of the interviews I have on here, but some of my interviews go really, really long. But I'm trying to match the frequency of the world right now, and everything is rush, rush, rush. So I do want to have a conversation. So I wanted to really streamline our questions today so that people can really get a view of your book, of who you are. So I'm going to go right into these questions. If you don't mind, I'm going to go into these questions, and we are going to make this fit the reality thing, because I want people to read your book. I want people to be connected with you. And I also want to be aware, because that's a part of mindfulness. I like to, talk about mindfulness a lot on the channel, but I'm aware that a lot of people have short attention spans. Yes. But we have good content. I like to break it up. So one thing I've done is like try to break it up and everything like that. So today it's going to be a little fast paced, but very, very dense. Okay. Right? We're going to have a dense conversation, but we're not going to be long-winded. And your girl, who we all know loves to talk, will not be talking a lot. This is the time for us to share in Hassana Brown and her gift. So my first question for you is, what inspired you to write your book?
Okay, so first and foremost, I always knew I had a story to tell. I always wanted to encourage others by my own story. Out of my mother's 6 children, I was always the different child. And I'm quite sure there's a lot of people out there that can identify with me on that. I saw things differently. I even moved differently than my mother's other children. I just did not feel, I just did not feel comfortable with being normal, I guess, with the normal things that was going on. So, I always, just did things differently. I felt like a misfit, if you will. I really got encouraged to write my book in my late 40s because I found out about my family that I never knew, which gave me an understanding of my whys in my life. So once I found out about my newfound family, it really defined me, and it really helped me to understand the whys in my life that I had. And so it allowed me to write this book. So that was the main reason why I wrote the book.
Okay, awesome. So one thing about marketing is we have to define and understand who our audience is. And so I'm pretty sure that you are marketing your book and putting it out there. And so how would you define who your audience is? So if someone was like picking up your book, how would you define that person who, or maybe persons who would be reading your book? Who is the gift for?
I wrote this book for people who have decided to beat the odds outside of their family dynamics. That's really the main reason why I wrote this book. I also believe that my audience is a people who continue to work on self-development by looking at their own past hurts and certain decisions that they made, and even the different cycles that they continue to go around, I guess I would say. But they desire to grow. They desire to find themselves. But they also, when I say grow, they decide to grow on their own terms, not based on what they've always known or what they have heard. And also, I would think that my audience would be those people that would want to break generational curses, and also those people that are tired of being stagnant, confused, and unstable. So that's who I'm hoping that my audience, my book would attract, those kind of people.
Yeah.
That just want change,
Yeah, definitely. I would like to say that when I was reading your book, I didn't know if I was your audience.
Yeah.
Initially, because we met, we had conversations before, and I know your Christian background, and I had a feeling that the book would be heavy with Christianity, but I wasn't sure, so I was just like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna be hearing the same old. But I want you to know that I found myself in your book. I really, really enjoyed it. It was very well written and very easy to read. So
thank you.
I am one of your audience members.
Thank you. And thank you for putting that disclaimer out there too about Christianity. It's not like filled with a whole bunch of scripture, but I think that it just gets right to the point, and it just helps people to see and just give people a different view on things that they probably may have thought about, but they never moved out on it, or knew how to explain it or discuss it actually. Yeah.
I get that. So when you were writing, what did you learn about yourself in the writing process?
Oh my gosh, I learned so much about myself. The one thing, like I always say, and I think I've shared this with you before, that we're not evolving, then we're dying. So you always have to find, you should be learning something every day. That's what I say.
Sure.
But I've learned about truth. I learned how everything really does connect in your life, whether bad or good, it does connect. I've also learned that your story is important. We don't just live here to exist. We all have a purpose. I've learned that God does not forget you. You know that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I think that is so true. And when you read my book, you will understand why I pointed that out. I've learned that knowing the truth, knowing your truth, knowing who you are, where you come from, knowing the why about yourself defines you and makes this life so much more freeing. So by you learning how to define who you are as an individual, because you remember, we come here by ourselves. But it's so funny that we live in a world that we just base everything off of what everybody else says or what everybody else is doing. But when you learn how to hear your voice and define yourself as a person, it becomes more freeing.
I love that. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, have you ever read your book? Have you read your book from beginning to end?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
So, and I know you wrote the book, and I know we want to quote the whole book, but what would you say would be your favorite quote out of your book?
I would say that understanding your self-discoveries will help you maintain your own truth about you.
Okay.
And the reason why I like that so much is because I believe that this journey called life is about you, has always been about you, and will continue to be about you, even after you die. Why? Because your name will continue to live on. How do you choose for others to remember you now and even then?
Yeah, I know that's right. So speaking of quotes from your book, I'm actually going to bring something up from your book right now.
Okay.
And so I'm going to read it out, and then I'm going to present something, to you to answer here on the show. You answer it in the book, but I want you to answer it today so everyone can watch it so they can get a little sneak peek.
Okay.
All right. So here's the quote. If your self-esteem has been tainted, or you have a lot of insecurities, you will also have many fears and no sense of empowerment. So how do you become empowered? How do you stand firm in your authority? So here's the question back to you as the author.
Lord.
You might not have it word for word from this page right here, but this is already a part of your message, right? So let's answer that question again for everyone who's watching. How do you stand firm in your authority, and how do you become empowered? Because I feel like we talk about self-love all the time, like say, have self-love and just go through self-love, but the answer is, how do you do that? Like, what exactly are some steps? I know it's a process, but based on those questions, how would you answer that today for anyone who's watching?
I think one of the things to be able to become empowered, you have to get a grasp of who you are, like I always say, but not so much just that. You have to understand what makes you tick, what makes you thrive, what makes you move, what makes you breathe, what makes you sad, what makes you disappointed. Once you begin to put all that into a pot, get to stirring things up, you start pulling things out one by one and dealing with each one at a time, you start gaining your own power back, because a lot of times these different things can suck the very life out of you. But once you start getting an understanding, what happens is it starts to allow you to become more freer. But not only that, it allows you to start being able to speak your own truth, not what somebody told you, not what you heard, but your own truth. What is your truth? Because your truth is what's going to empower you, but not only empower you, but other people need to understand what your truth is too, because they may be in that same pool that you're in, and you could be able to bring them out so they can empower themselves.
That's a good answer.
Thank you.
I would read what you put in the book, but I want you guys all to go out here, get the book from www.hassanaBrown.com, okay? Got it.
Beautiful.
See what she actually said and see if we matched up. So now I'm going to shift a little bit. So I made up a word. I think I'm pretty sure you know about it. I told you about it. It's called Selftivity. And so I probably said so many different definitions, but Selftivity is just an act on self. It's an opportunity to invest in your mind, body, and spirit. So I have a plethora of Selftivities coming. I've made up a lot of different Selftivities, and I do it in the form of a game. And so what we're going to do for this next part of the show is we're going to play one little game, and then we're going to have you define your Selftivity statement. So a Selftivity statement is one of many Selftivities, and it's my form of an affirmation. So there's your affirmation, people say I am wealth or I am bold, and then there's the intentional action that supports that. So what am I going to do that says I am bold? So I'll let you think about it as you're playing this game with me.
Think about it now.
And then we're going to end it out with your Selftivity statement. So here's the game. So in your book, at the end of the chapters, not actually played this game before, but it definitely fit this interview a lot better. But it's a game that everyone knows is two truths and a lie, right? But the way that we're going to play it is you are going to give us two truths from your book and one lie from your book, right?
I have 10 chapters.
Okay.
So
that's gonna be A, everyone. So A is he has 10 chapters, and then B would be.
Okay, so B would be I speak about my older sister in the book.
Okay. See, you getting it. All right, and then C.
Well, C would be I drove to a farm to meet my dad.
Okay, got it. That's C. So now anyone who's watching and put your comments in, was A her lie about her book, was B her lie about her book, or was C her lie about her book? And I'm not going, when the video is going to have a little timer come up, probably put 15 seconds to give you guys some time to think, to see which one was her lie. And then now we're going to reveal it. Which one was the lie? Was it A, B, or C? Or just tell us which one was the lie.
My sister. I spoke about my older sister in the book.
Okay, because you didn't speak about her in the book.
I did not.
All right, let's see if anyone got it without, going sneaking to the answer. They'll put it in the comments. All right, Miss Hassana, we are coming to an end, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to share with us your story, the gift. You can find her book on www.hassanabrown.com. And I'm gonna give you a moment to go ahead and share where people can buy it. But first, do you have a Selftivity statement to share? So you can create it however you want, because that's the freedom of Selftivity. you're bringing yourself into the activity about yourself, what is your affirmation and your intentional action in one sentence or one statement?
I am brave.
And what do you do to support that statement?
I constantly keep doing new things.
Okay, there we go. Selftivity statement. I am brave and I constantly continue to do new things. Because that supports you being brave. Because when you're brave and you're doing new things, people are afraid to do new things. They like to stay complacent in the same place. And one of those things is writing a book. A lot of people have not thought about writing a book because it might be scary to share your truth. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for having your self-truth statement. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh,
so do you have any other platforms you want to share with us about where to find you, to connect with you, or if HassanaBrown.com? Got it right here for y'all. Right.
Yes.
Look at her, looking cute. If you have anything else you want to share before we go ahead and close out.
No, ma'am, I don't. Well, I guess I could just say also too, that is the only place right now that you can purchase my book.
Okay.
It's on my website. And then also too, you can find me on Facebook, just put in Hassana Brown and my page will come up. You can read the reviews on there as well. So yeah, just go out to Facebook and check me out and you can see my reviews and I would love to invite you into my world.
Yes. There you have it, everyone. We had the author of The Gift on Health Be Mine. I don't think I introduced myself, but I am Danny for those who have not come to this channel before. I like to cover all things self-investment stuff. So I have put Miss Hassana Brown's book in the category of self-investment stuff. So I'll put the link in the description box below for you guys to see if you're interested in the book. Go ahead and check it out. And that is the end of today's episode. Hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your being, and your mind. Be mindful. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there with your sweet self. Thank you so much for watching today's video with Hassana Brown, the author of The Gift. Be sure to visit www.hassanabrown.com to see what others are saying about their reading experience. If you're interested in self-investing books, The Gift offers topics such as overcoming doubt, being empowered, standing in the authority of self, and how to confront survivor's guilt and that feeling of carrying a certain mindset that differs from your family. For more self-investment stuff, interviews, story times, and content with mindfulness at the center, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button.